Hello, we are back today with the sculpture we had started last week, the Snallygaster. I went ahead and painted a bunch of the base coat onto them, just because that often takes a little bit to dry, and I see a spot I missed. It often takes a little bit to dry, and it's not terribly entertaining. But we're going to be painting him today and finishing him up. I don't think there's been a video where I wasn't tired yet, but I am very tired today. I'm only running on about like 2 hours of sleep, I think. So hopefully I can finish this up quickly. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the little 7-pointed star on the disc. We'll see. I wanted to kind of do one of the really fancy decorations, or I might see if I can find a printout of one of the classic designs for that. But the main thing I want to get done today is him. I just missed part of the underside of his wing there. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start on him. I'm thinking about maybe making him somewhat vulture-like, so we're probably going to do a skin-ish kind of pale, pale kind of flesh tone, sort of. I'm not sure exactly yet, but if you've ever looked at like vultures and other things like that, they tend to have that sort of tone. So we're going to go for that on his head. And we'll see if I like it or not. I may not. I changed my mind frequently. But then we'll probably blend it into a bit of a green, I'm thinking, for the lizard sections. The only color, not really color description, the only texture description was that the beak is metallic. So, other than that, there really isn't much description I saw of color. So I kind of have full artistic freedom on that. So we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. Okay. And I did not do the base color of black on the tentacles or the talons because I want to do a slightly lighter color for them. So I'm probably going to paint them a probably red, I'm thinking, or a dark orange as the base coat, and then do lighter coats on top. But for now, I just want to get this color started, and then we'll blend into the greenish tone a bit for the more reptilian appearance. But it looks like, let me double check. Yep. Okay, just making sure everything is working and I didn't accidentally leave myself muted. That would be bad. I've done that. I think I did that before. In one of the videos, although I could have sworn I was not, but apparently I was. It's the only sad part when I post videos and, no one's really watching too much yet, because when there's issues, I don't know. I don't know until I see it later. Okay. I'm thinking we're going to do the tentacles a reddish, either a reddish purple or something along those lines. Probably more purple, because I think of tentacles more as purple for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I think it might fit, or we might do more of a reddish tone if it will match the more earth tone colors that we're picking here, because I'm thinking about making his fur a bit brownish. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So we're going to paint a little bit further on the back of his head, and then we're going to go ahead and add some of the tones onto the feet and the hands, the talons that we've done. And these scales we'll paint last because they will constantly get hit with the paint I'm doing in between on the skin here in between each scale. And we don't want to have to repaint them, so we'll do those last after I get this to the point that I want it. Hopefully, I don't know if that's picking up on the mic or not. I don't think it is. My guinea pig is squeaking at me. Yeah, I think I have it set so it shouldn't pick it up. She gets needy sometimes and wants my attention, but she's fine. She needs nothing. She has her little cage and her little snacks, so she's good. At least she's not chewing on stuff. The one time she was chewing on stuff, and that did pick up on the mic. And I had to give her more snacks so she would be quiet. Which is a really bad thing to do, because then she learns that's how she gets snacks. Alright. So we've gotten that done. I want to find... There we go. There's my red paint. We're going to do a red base color on the talon pieces here. Again, this is just the base color. We're going to go over it again, probably with a lighter color. But this is the initial color. Just to... That creates the depth and the shadows. So I always start with dark and then gradually work my way up. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the microphone. Always work my way up to lighter colors from that. So I know it looks a little silly right now, but we have to start with the more drastic, bold colors, the dark colors, and then gradually fade upward into lighter tones. I do think these will be just classic, you know, red highlights and then light orange on top. Not thinking too hard about that. almost done with this point. And at this point, we are not concerned about detail at all. We're just doing very thick colors that we're gonna paint mostly over. I just need that base coat or else it doesn't look right. And I think, see, I could do red as the base coat for the tentacles and then work a purple on top. That might kind of achieve the in-between, like a maroon color that I want to get for the tentacles. That might work, but I'm not positive. We'll see. I think we might do that. We'll start with red, and then probably it's going to look Christmas colored if I do what I'm thinking right now. But then we'll start with the red on the tentacles here, and then we'll move into a purple tone when we work over top of it. Oops. But if you look here, you'll see how every coat always shows through the bottom layer a bit. So by stacking colors, we get a much more complicated and detailed color tone that you don't get if you just paint in solid colors. I don't know if that's a correct technique for painting. No one really taught me how to paint miniatures, but it's the way that I've always done it. It seems to work pretty well. I have watched some other people, but yeah, starting with the dark colors and then moving upward seems to be what other people seem to kind of do. Not positive, but it works for me. I've seen people do highlights different than I do because I tend to rely on dry brushing, which is a little bit haphazard. So I've tried to be a little bit more precise when I do highlighting. So I'm working on that because I do see a lot of difference in some of the artists I think are quite a bit better than me. Definitely are more precise when they do highlights. So I'm improving that skill, but starting with the base colors and then overlapping them until you get a mix of those colors is kind of what most people seem to be doing. There we go. Let's put this aside for now. All right. I think we will start. Trying to think if I should do a dark green or a brown for the underside of the tentacles. Probably a dark green. I know it's going to look really silly right now because it looks very much like a Christmas tree ornament with this green and red juxtapositions next to each other. But we are going to be covering this green up with some yellows. It will not be green. I just want the little indentation on each of these little tiny tentacle suckers to be a darker color. So this will not be the end color. It will not look like a Christmas decoration in a candy cane. Sometimes the the underpainting of figurines looks really bad. Oh. Let's do this a bit. The only thing about these is because they're so twisty, they're hard to paint. So I have to constantly move it around so I can see what the heck I'm painting. Oops, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Alright, looks very Christmassy. That is not our intent. It will look better in a little bit here. Okay. So while that dries, we can go ahead and do some dry brushing of the brown. There we go. Yeah, and I think we'll start with this, and then I might do like lighter bits like white around the talon pieces of fur and feathers. But we just need to get some of the base colors done here. All right. This brown is always very, very thin. It doesn't layer very much. Doesn't add a whole lot of color very quickly. Just fine. It just means we have to do a lot of layers of it. All right. Let me go back to doing the head here. We can blend the colors a bit. All right, let me color the underside here of the tentacles of his chin. So I feel like this part's gonna get kind of overlooked, and I had way too much paint on my brush for that. See if I can spread it around more. Okay, there we go. It's not too bad. Okay. Alright, so we're making some progress here. Gotten most of the basic head color done. Okay, I think I am going to do some quick little highlights on the wings here. We'll do more later, but I want to do just the beginning of this here. Alright, now let's add some details on this wing. There we go. We just have some lightening of the wing color here. We'll do the same for here on the tuft of fur around his neck. Just a little bit. And then around the base of each of these talons, we'll do some light paint. Okay. Do a bit more. Okay, so now we have some basic shading going on with the body. Alright, so we're going to move to adding some highlights with the orange. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do the underside here. Sorry if I keep pulling the image out or the figurine out of frame. I'm trying not to do that, but it's very tempting because I'm a little bit nearsighted and it's much easier to work when this thing is right in front of my face. So I'm trying to get better at not doing that so that the video camera can see at all times. Okay. Now we're going to do the other little hand. Alright, so it looks kind of crappy right now, but just the beginning of that second color. We'll do it on the feet now. Probably gonna try, I'll probably go over it lightly again just to kind of blend it a little better, and then we'll go over it with the yellow. To add that probably, I guess will be the final. I might do another shade on top of this, but probably not. I think 3 is probably good. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So now we're going to do some more coloration on these tentacles so they stop looking like Christmas ornaments. Alright, we're going to start with a dark purple. Maybe we'll start with a dark, there we go, if I can get it open. Okay, now we got it open. Okay. Let me, whoops. Alright. Do the next one. Okay, last tentacle here. Okay. I have a slightly lighter color here, so I'm gonna try to use it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to because it's a bit. There we go. And then I'm gonna smooth this all out kind of with a, I have a very metallic purple. Alright, and now finally we're gonna put a bit of our metallic purple paint on these. Just a little bit to give it a bit of a shimmery look, and then we'll do, I still have to do the underside and the part with all the little sucker pieces, the green piece, we still have to do that. And that will be a mix of yellows and such. Yellows and greens. But for now, let's just do this. There we go, so that's looking a bit better. Okay. Now, let's move on to... I'm trying to think of what metallic color we want the beak to be. I could do a faint yellow and then do a goldish tone on top, but I feel like the beaks were usually a gray silver, so we might... I think we're going to go that route. I think we're going to go the grayish silver route, maybe with a bit of a gold tone to it. But I think we're going to do this gray here real quick. Okay. And then we'll put the silver lightly over top. Like that. Then we're going to go to our silver here. Because it did say the beak was metallic. So this is my interpretation of what that means. I guess it could be like just a shimmery color, or but we're going to go with silver. Of course, the teeth have to be white. And then I think I'll do a slight gold tip on the end here. Like that, so it's faintly gold on the end. Alright, so now we need to take some white And we need to paint the little teeths. Little teeth. This is the wrong brush to do that with. I need a different, stiffer brush. Okay. There we go. That way he's got little teeth and little tiny teeth. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, while I have the white out, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some white tips on the wings here. And on the edges, just to add some more color variation. Alright, and then do some white tipping on this wing. Okay. Now, guess we should go ahead and do some variation here on the scales, because we need to go ahead and start adding the green that we're going to have back here. Just a little bit of it. There we go. So we got the starting of that. Okay. Let me grab all of my different color metallic paints here. Because I think we're gonna okay. Okay. We're almost there. Okay. Now I think, yeah, that's just the beginning of that. I definitely need to add more color to that because it doesn't look quite there. It doesn't look quite right. But we'll get there. For now, we're going to get rid of this brush, get ourselves a new brush. Guess I shouldn't be touching there. Hold on, there we go. We'll hold them like this. And we will dry brush the underside of the tentacles here real quick. And then we'll go over it again with a yellow. So we're going to do the light green and then a yellow. I do apologize that I still don't have music. I need to research a bit and come up with something. I was hoping I would be able to go ahead and write something simple that I could use. That way I'm not afraid of using it on any particular platform, but I may have to go a different route. So we'll see, but I am working on that because I know the sounds of silence and me rambling to myself is kind of boring. There we go. Now that we've done that, we're going to go over it one more time, but this time with the yellow to add just a bit more highlights to it. Okay. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Having it closer definitely makes the audio better, but it also makes it much easier for me to smack it by mistake. Okay, so now we have the tentacles with much more color and texture to them. Now we're going to move back to the talons. And we're going to add a little bit of yellow. To make these look a bit better. Alright. Don't know why this is reminding me of Big Bird right now from Sesame Street. I think it's because his feet have this kind of yellow and striped pattern. I mean, he's a bird, obviously, but it's not what I was really thinking when I started this, but it's reminding me of that. Okay. So yeah, it's a little bright, so I think I'm going to take a light orange color and go back over this to blend it a bit. Just maybe even watered down orange, I'm not sure. Something along those lines so that it's not quite so drastically bright. Because we don't really want it to be quite that bright. Alright. Yeah, this is a little bit too messy color variation, but that's fine. We'll go over it again with the orange, and that should help tone it down just a tad. It doesn't look too bad, I think, on the camera side, but it's a little bit worse in person. At least I think it is. Oops, don't want to get paint on my blanket. Alright. Okay. So now we're going to go over the hands again with a very little bit of orange to tone it down a tad, because we made it a little too much color variation-y. Okay. Yeah, I think the difference might be a little too subtle to pick up on the camera, but it's enough of a difference in person that I think it matters. There, I don't know if you can tell how that changed. But if you look at the feet versus the hands right now, you can kind of see. So now we're going to tone down the feet a bit. So we don't want to lose all the variation we put in there. I don't want it to be quite as bright as we had it originally. It's a little too much. All right. Now I think we're going to move back to the scales. Alright, I think I want to use this color here. And we're just going to add some yellowy tone to the middle of each scale to make them a bit more variegated. Okay. You can see the difference between the scales now. We add more color. Okay. Let me see if I can. Actually, I probably should take the brown here. I'll take the brown a bit. Yeah, mixed. I think the colors mixed decently well on the back here, but they didn't do as well on the head. So we're gotta work on the head because that's the biggest problem at the moment. I think that doesn't quite look right. Okay, there we go. We toned down the transition a bit more for that. Now we're going to move back to the head because I feel like I need to do some different coloration here. I honestly almost need to do a bit of a pink tone to get the color that I wanted, but I'm scared it's going to be too much, you know? So I'm going to try just watering down the pink and see if I can get where I want to with that. We might start this and then paint over it. Um, okay. Okay. Now let's open this again. And we're going to tone down a little bit of what we did earlier with this. So we did a bit too much for the scaly part. There we go. Okay, so we're making really good progress here. We're almost finished. He looks a little crazy compared to some of the others I've done. But that's just kind of the nature of the wackiness of this particular creature. The scales look a lot better now. Alright. So I think... Yeah, the slight washing of pink, not quite where I want it to be. I also don't like that too much of the base black coat is showing on this side here. We need to do a bit more of this tannish color. Right. We're almost finished. All right, so now I want to add more variation and color in the little tuft of fur on his chest, but we're doing pretty well. He's almost done. Oh, well, I'm tired. Okay. Almost finished. Almost there. I have been awake for a while now. Because I only got, basically I just got a nap since yesterday evening. I got an hour or two of sleep. No, the day before yesterday, because I work nights, and then barely any today, because when I got off work this morning. So I've basically for the past 2 days been running on about 4 or 5 hours total in 2 days. Or less, actually, I'm not sure. Not very much, anyway. I am a little bit exhausted. Alright. Let me grab a bigger brush here and just... Nope, too much still. Alright, so I think we're pretty much good. We have our Snallygaster done. You can see his tentacles, you can see the scales on his head. I think he's pretty good. But yeah, I think we're done with him. So if you watched this video, I greatly appreciate it. I will be posting the edited video later. I'm probably not going to do something next weekend. I don't know yet. I might. But probably won't be very long because holidays and everything are very busy. But I appreciate any interactions I get. If you want to see me sculpt something specific, feel free to suggest it. I am always happy to take suggestions. I'm very fond of mythological creatures and cryptids specifically, but I will try a lot of other things. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna head out. I'm very tired. I'm gonna go sleep now. Alright.